Several years ago, my husband Mike was diagnosed with progressive aphasia, or AFTD. One of the things that happens with primary progressive aphasia is you lose your words and you lose your ability to say words. And that's a form of dementia. And he had to retire. And during that time, he was starting to lose skills like how to use a computer, how to use email or text, and had to be at home. And I started looking through adult education information online and came across the library classes that were being offered, and one of them was computer technology.
So my name is Nikki Bateman, and I was the information technologist website coordinator. I worked in the computer center and helped patrons when they needed help on the computers. I also taught private one-on-one technology classes where patrons could bring in their own personal device, and we would figure out what issues they had with the device, what they couldn't figure out. If they had just got it, we would learn how to use it.
When I first called, I said, how much is this service cost? And here's the situation with my husband, and he's not really going to be able to benefit from a class with other people. He's going to need one-on-one instruction. And surprisingly, it was free.
So I was working in the computer center one day, and a patron called me and asked if she could set up an appointment for her husband. And she stated that he had recently been diagnosed with aphasia. So he came in, we set his appointments for Friday mornings, and he came in the first time, and he was great. He could understand what I was saying, and he could speak well too. So he wasn't far into his diagnosis. What we did was he had an iPad and an iPhone. So what we started out with was, if when he would have a hard time speaking, what he could do is type out what he wants to say and then have Siri speak it for him.
He loved coming to the library, loved coming to see Nikki, and he would text her, figured out how to text again. He would text her and email her and ask her questions. She always responded.
Fridays he would come in and we would go over the things that he wanted to go over, or new things. At one point he wanted to learn how to record himself. I showed him how he could record himself. So he would go home and he would record himself saying things, or a lot of times he would sit outside his home and record himself playing his guitar, which I thought was really neat.
I think that that helped him have a much better quality of life, helped him feel like he was a member of the community. Even long after he could no longer use technology well, he would talk about Nikki and coming to the library. And if we drove past here, he always would point that out. And so it made a big difference in his life.
He would come in and we would learn something new every day, and he would come in and he would sort of just hang out with the staff, and we would all speak to him slowly and sort of joke around, and he would talk back, and we were very patient. When he had a little bit of trouble speaking, we just acted like we didn't even notice, and he was just a really cool guy to hang out with too. I think it speaks volumes to what you always hear, that libraries are more than just books. But a lot of people don't really see how much more we can be, or we already are.
The library isn't just books, which surprised even me at that time when I was looking for stuff for Mike. And Nikki never made it hard. He never came home saying he felt stupid or he was less than. She was his friend, and the library was his place to go. He loved that, and he loved coming to the library. Loved it.